Closing up shop here on Overtime on WOTM. Mark, we're sitting here on a Monday after some major debuts as far as rookie goes in the NFL and some preseason games. What stood out to you? We had 5 quarterbacks drafted there in the first round. Guys like Mac Jones of Alabama, Trevor Lawrence, Zach Wilson with the New York Jets, Trey Lance with the 49ers, Justin Fields of the Chicago Bears. What stood out to you as you watched all these quarterbacks play for the first time in their pro careers?
So I'll go with the first guy who I thought really didn't look that great. Didn't really look like he had much chemistry with his wide receivers. Looked a little uncomfortable back there was Trevor Lawrence. He looked like he got a little bit of happy feet. He had one good pass. It was a 35-yard pass to Marvin Jones, where Marvin Jones made a really good catch. Looked like Lawrence underthrew him a little bit, but I think that you could see he's just not that comfortable. He got sacked twice, wasn't really confident in his offensive line, and who could blame him? I mean, this is his first NFL game. He really starting to learn the ropes. Looking at overall, you can't expect him to do better than this when you're dealing with the type of talent he's dealing with. He still needs a couple of the pieces around him. A guy who I thought looked the best was Justin Fields.
Yeah.
After a disastrous first couple series where he fumbled the ball, lost the ball, looked kind of lost, he had total control of the game. I thought his wide receivers were on par with him. They kind of read what he was able to do. He got out of the pocket a lot, kind of was able to throw back against the field, as we see here for the touchdown. Was able to, if there wasn't a play to pass, was able to run with the ball. 33 yards rushing, also had a scoring touchdown and that throwing touchdown. And he had pretty good chemistry with his wide receivers. Again, in total control of the game, I thought he looked the best out of all those guys. This was the best play. Trey Lance against Kansas City, throwing a bomb to Trent Sheffield for 80 yards. Overall, Trey Lance wasn't as consistent as some of the other guys. He was 5 for 14. But I mean, what a great arm he's got. You know he has the physical abilities to succeed. Can he read defenses consistently enough? We'll see. Mac Jones, I thought did pretty good against the team he played against, Washington.
That's right.
I think what we want to see from Mac Jones is his ability to throw the ball a little bit further down the field. Yeah. He only had 87 yards and 13 receptions, but he had one that he just missed to Christian Wilkinson, a guy from Southwest Missouri State who's in his second year, and he laid the pass out there perfectly. Wilkinson just doesn't kind of maybe didn't know the flight pattern for Mac Jones or whatever, but didn't catch it.
Right.
So hopefully that'll get a little bit better. He did look like he had pretty good chemistry with most of his wide receivers. Jacoby Myers, he looked like he hit pretty well. And same thing with even Wilkinson, because he had a couple more catches. He had 6 catches on the day. So I think that's something that will develop too. But I think Mac Jones looked like he should look as a guy that's coming into that system, should be comfortable with that system. He looked like he had time to pass. He made his reads quick, and even something like a play action pass, I thought he did pretty well on. Zach Wilson for the Jets, 6 for 9, led them to a couple scoring drives. There was one drive though where the Jets they're probably the worst short yardage team in football. And they got stopped on a 4th and 1 because they just have no imagination in their play calling still. But hopefully that'll get better with Robert Sela. I think that there's a lot there for Zach Wilson. He's got a lot of good young wide receivers. Elijah Moore is a guy that's probably going to be one of the best wide receivers, rookie wide receivers in the NFL. And Denzel Mims carried about 4 guys on a first down catch later in the game. So I think the Jets are going to have some playmakers at wide receiver. And Zach Wilson seems like a guy that is happy about where he is, wants to be in New York, and that says a lot for a team that always loses.
Exactly. Like you said, I think there's a lot that a lot of these quarterbacks can take with them, and obviously as rookies, a lot to work for after their first games. We'll be tracking these guys as some of them might have to take the snaps as the starter for their ball clubs coming up this season. We're talking about their ball clubs and their ball games. We have the first set of games coming up right here on WOTM Thursday and Friday in the AHSAA Kickoff Classic at Crampton Bowl in Montgomery. Thursday, Gunnersville and Handley. Friday, Dothan and Bob Jones in a jamboree. We'll have those games live for you right here on WOTM. Well, that wraps up our show here on a Monday night. We'll be back coming up tomorrow night, and we will see you then.